What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome back to another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video, and looks like we have a brand new banner out now with Aerith and our boy Matt. So this is what we talked about a couple videos ago, probably about 3 or 4 videos ago, about these guys being leaked, and here they are. So brand new banner, guys, for you guys to look at and you guys to think about whether you want to pull or not. So we'll go over this and see if it's worth summoning. I'm just going to quickly take a little picture here and use this as the wallpaper, of course. And then we're gonna go ahead and jump into this and talk a little bit about not only that, but also a little bit of the lessons learned from the ranking event. So let's go through the notices and go through this first. So Aerith Matt's weapon have been drawn. Brand new character maximum level increase coming soon, so level 50 to 55 is coming. So as of October 12th, all playable characters maximum level will be further increased. Along with the maximum level increase, the following will also be added. Character streams unlocked will also be updated, of course, because we can currently go to 55, but it's just locked because you're not at 55. So very, very important to note that, guys. So save a little bit of stamina here to increase your level for your characters. Okay, very important to note that there. Another thing here, of course, is the new weapons that are out. So Aerith's weapon and Matt's weapon, including their garbs. So Prism Rod, Raging Sphere inflicts up to 800% wind magic damage to a single enemy, and then Killing Slash inflicts up to 720% of non-elemental damage to one enemy, and also takes down the Diamond. This time I got it right. Diamond Sigil enemies in a flash, okay? So these are showing up max boost, of course, and then magic attack up. Wind Strike Arcanum is the Prism Dress, and the Killer Attire gives boost HP and boost physical attack. So, quite honestly, I mean, let's be real. Unless something crazy comes out where Raging Sphere is going to be required, from a boss perspective, there's really no need to go for these. They're decent weapons. I mean, okay, let's be real. The Raging Sphere is actually really nice because it does really good high level wind magic damage, and then the Killing Slash is nice because, of course, the Sigil Break is very rare to have that specific diamond cut. But if you're free to play, you're most likely going to bypass that, right? So just keep that in mind. Now, I want to talk about something else. So a couple things to discuss here regarding the events. Okay, so I had, unfortunately, fortunately, I had a Thanksgiving dinner, obviously. So I want to talk about this, the dungeon ranking. Okay, so I'm looking at my free-to-play one. Okay, so here, I didn't have a chance to do this very much after I got my initial score of 2 million. I stopped there. I didn't run it anymore. So how to prepare for the next one? I think this is a very important thing people need to realize. So the next dungeon ranking that will come out, we don't know when that is. It's safe to say a couple things need to be noted. Number one, the linear path to bosses isn't always the best route. Okay, so we're gonna be, I'm gonna be making guides again for free to play on the next one, and I'm gonna be experimenting and figuring out what the best method of boss structure is going to be. So it's never 1, 2, 3, 4. It could be 1, 4, 3, 1, 2, etc. Right? So something to note. Number two, there's always most likely at this point, seeing Reno there as a boss, going to be a special hard boss in every single version of them. Okay, so keep that in mind. The third one, I think probably the most important one, is limit breaks need to stop being used unless they're healing limit breaks, in my opinion, or debuffing limit breaks, and people should be focusing on the summon streams. I think a lot of people were held back here from a point perspective because they didn't have very hard mode Ifrit completed to get their Hellfire, didn't have Shiva very hard mode completed to get their Diamond Dust, and obviously a lot of us are still currently working on Ramuh, right? So I think a main focus going forward for a lot of these dungeon ranking events, you should really consider focusing on completing those summon LBs, guys. They're so important. Like, they're absolutely key for almost any piece of content, right? If you're a week 1 player, I would dare to say even at this point, you should be working on very hard Shiva to complete that and try to get Diamond Dust unlocked, right? I started this free-to-play account 4 days late due to my original free-to-play account being deleted, and I was able to catch up and do a lot of this content, right? So I think it's really important, guys, to refocus a little bit and give yourself the opportunity to use some of your stamina towards getting the summons unlocked and completed. It's super important. If you need guides, I've done a very hard Ifrit mode guide at 99k CP. I just did a Shiva guide today at very hard mode at 114 CP or 113, 114, something like that. And I actually beat it at 110. So it's definitely possible with combat power, nowhere near the required amount, right? Keep that in mind. The last thing I want to talk about, of course, is this here. So Sephiroth played a major role in the completion of the dungeon ranking. The thing I'm starting to notice is these weapons come out for a specific reason when they come out, okay? So if it's not a holiday or a summer event or a seasonal event, this means something. So Prism Rod and Killer Hornet must be coming out for a reason. There might be an enemy that is wind related or a dungeon that's going to be wind related that may require you to have a wind weapon. So it doesn't mean summon for Prism Rod, but what I'm trying to say is it's a little early to tell for trending, but try to find yourself another weapon that you may have in your arsenal with wind, and perhaps, you know, focus on that a little bit to see maybe if the next dungeon does come out, you're then ready to tackle it with a wind weapon. Again, the devs haven't really give us enough data to trend with, but I've noticed at least that they don't really put out weapons for no reason. There's always a reason and always a follow-up for that. So those are the 4 things that I really consider, guys, going forward on the dungeon rankings, okay? So just to kind of break it up again, are these weapons worth it? Completely up to you, right? I'm a free-to-play account, I'm going to skip them. I'm going to look for a wind weapon in my arsenal, and hopefully I have something there. If obviously the next dungeon is in fact going to be a wind-related dungeon, I don't know if I can afford my Aerith to be a DPS because she's my main heal. So that means I have to now shift my focus on having a secondary healer and having Aerith more of a DPS. Now don't get me wrong, she is absolutely incredible as a magic using DPS. She really is. I think she has the highest magic attack next to Sephiroth in the game. So everything with her scales off magic attack. So she can totally be a DPS and not a healer. But then that means you have to find a backup healer to replace her, right? So for me as a free-to-play player on this account, it's not possible. I don't think I have that luxury right now to do that. Unless I get lucky and get prime number, then I can focus on getting Matt up and obviously using him as my main healer, which is not a bad thing, by the way. He's really, really good. The second thing, of course, is understanding the dungeon ranking going forward. Trial and error, figuring out the best route of boss killing, and then understanding that there's always going to be a special boss that you're going to fight that'll give you more points, and then figuring out the strategy. That's kind of part of my gig here. That's what I'm here to help you guys do. Like I did with this last one, I'll try to do with the next one. And then, of course, the main thing, in my opinion, lessons learned, get your summon limit breaks done, guys. A lot of you guys should be focusing on that. All of my stamina currently, now that I've completed most of the Sephiroth event, is going to go back into farming and completing Diamond Dust. I have it at level 2 right now. I need to push it to level 5 and then start working on Ramu next, because who knows? He is going to be helping us with a lot of different content, including the very hard dungeons that are currently out, such as the Mako Reactor one, right, for the Crisis dungeons. And then also, like, for example, Hellfire is going to help you with the Papadilly, whatever it's called, the other Crisis dungeon that's over in 6 days. So focus, guys, on putting your stamina tonics towards getting your farming done for those summons. And I promise you guys, it'll pay off in dividends. All right, this is Payne. Hope you enjoyed the video. Nice to see the new banner. I think after the Sephiroth event, we can most likely expect the Halloween banner to drop, so keep your eyes peeled for that. That is going to probably come out and rock this whole area. This banner here, I think, is absolutely skippable for now until they tell us otherwise. And again, they always come out with an intent, so they probably will tell us otherwise why we should be pulling on this. But for now, I'm skipping. Let me know what you guys think about it, and if you're doing the same. And if you are not going to skip, what's the reason? I'm kind of curious. Let me know in the comment section. All right, guys, it's Payne. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.